everyone to Spooky Japan podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Anthony Kerrigan. He joins us from Ireland, so we're really excited about that one.
Dewey, dear Nippon, it's Nippon, is it? Japanese, Japan, Nippon,
Yeah,
is
the
it?
cherry blossoms. Yeah, and I wanted something in the background that was from Japan instead of something generic. And I was like, you know what's pretty? Cherry blossoms.
Yeah.
Cherry blossom, yeah,
Yeah,
beautiful.
I think this is. It says this photo is taken in somewhere in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 8 hours difference here, there, like so. It's great to have it because I've been watching the shows there. You've been presenting both of you there, and they're very interested there. And I came home one night then you were on there, and it was great to see it. And you kept me up for ages. Then this was after a night out. It was a bit interesting to watch there.
Oh, we love hearing that. Yeah, that's also why I try and do it. Try to educate, so we can get educated, but other people can get educated as well. Like I don't know much about Ireland.
No.
Or anything spooky over there.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting place, Ireland. It's I suppose I got asked that question a couple of weeks ago there about what makes Ireland a great place to do paranormal investigations, and I suppose it's to do with its rich history and its bloody past, So it's to do, I suppose, it's within every 2 kilometers there's an old building or haunted attraction, you could come to a ruined castle within about 3 to 4 kilometers of you, and it's easy to get to. And I suppose compared to places like, you could say, like United States, Canada, and Australia, they're hard to get to. You need to spend a bit of money on travel. But here, you could just probably walk down the road, and there's some story about somebody being headless around the corner, looking at you. I don't know how they can be headless and looking at you, but there's always great for folklore, as you said. I suppose it's probably the same as Japan, where as we said before, it's all island nations there, And I suppose the other thing as well, I don't know if you've seen it recently. I don't know. There's an article there that probably Ireland was the Atlantis. That the scholars and all that. So, but probably the folklore and storytelling, the oral storytelling, all comes from this country then as well.
Scary parts.
Scary parts. There's loads. I suppose there's all the different types of haunting as well. You've got, like, as you say, like as you mentioned about the cryptids, cryptozoology there. There's a fair few tales with that, probably mostly associated with Christianity and spreading fear into people there. The monsters, paganism there. The serpents, the sea serpents, the snakes. But as well, I suppose you've got the stories of vampires. Interesting story there. There's an abbey not too far away from where I live here, and it's associated with Bram Stoker, who wrote Dracula. And he's supposed to, because he lived in Ireland. His brother went to Dublin University, studying. He was a doctor in surgery. He was a surgeon, his brother, and I suppose the stories of bloodsuckers and all that probably stemmed. It was all originated in the family. He was sick himself, Bram Stoker, and he said to have stayed in a nearby castle in Killarney there, and there's an abbey which I just mentioned there, where there used to be a person that used to sleep in coffins. It used to be all friendly, nice during the day. Used to be praying, and when he used to serve in the kitchen, giving out soup. Then in the evening, when everybody went away, he could hear him cursing. There was nobody else in the abbey, and he used to be sleeping in coffins. And there's another story of the Brown Man, which is not to do with any colour or anything, actually. I think it's to do with his name. His second name was Brown. And he was supposed to, during the 1850s, he was supposed to have eaten the bodies from the abbey, going over.
Dear.
So I suppose, I don't know if you heard of it, the Irish famine, that was during the 1850s in Ireland. It was potato famine. There was a shortage of potatoes, or there wasn't any good quality potatoes there. But um, the food was scarce, so cannibalism was quite a possibility there. So when Stoker got those stories from that, vampirism from that is another story altogether there. But doppelgangers, ufology is kind of big here as well. There's a lot of cases recently where we live there of UFOs being spotted, or UAPs. Also, there's the demonic, the stories of demonic beings showing himself as well. The devil in various haunted locations, supposed haunted locations. The Hellfire Club. I don't know if you've heard of those.
Yeah, I did a TikTok about the Hellfire Club.
It's a very interesting fact. These things happen. I don't know if they still go on. I suppose it's today's social kind of club. I don't know. I suppose it's the online TikTok kind of sensation. But it's those kind of things happen in Ireland. And then, as we said, you've got the battles that have happened around the country, and to do with the mythology. Then you've got Culcullen, and you've got the Morrigan, and obviously the fairies, and then you've got the Banshee. And then you've got the Changeling. There's a story. I don't know about fairies. I'll ask you your theories on that. With fairies here in Ireland, I suppose people love fairies, and thanks to Lord of the Rings and shows like that, The Hobbit and all that. I suppose the shows here kind of favoritize fairies. And I suppose the reason why fairies were brought in the past were for explanations for things that went wrong. And I suppose there was a massive storm it was called the Big Wind. I think it was in the early 1800s, and the vast majority of buildings in Ireland got destroyed. It was on the 6th of January, and they blamed it on the fairies, and people going missing. They blamed it on the fairies, so it was a good excuse. Or people that had mental illness, or was stillborn, or babies that had problems with them. There, were all recorded as fairies. So it was kind of it's a nice thing having the fairies, but then it's sort of jumping away from the subject of reality then as well. Of what really did happen in these places.
One thing that I'm questioning is about when they talk about vampirism. Would it be also back then people had a lot of deficiency of certain minerals and iron and whatever? So, could it be something like that because they were ill in certain ways that they thought that they needed that, right?
True. But I think you look at Mary. Is it Mary Bolt, the Queen in Czech Republic? Mary Baltimore. I don't know. She was, she used to sleep in blood. I mean, not sleep in blood. She used to bathe in blood, but her skin was kind of pale all the time, and she used to be erratic behavior.
Yeah.
So whether there was there's linked with vampirism and rabies in the past. People being bitten by an animal, and they go off the scale, and they have the blood first then as well. So it's something that you're right there, Aaron. There's stuff probably in the past, like the diseases.
Like King Henry VIII had syphilis, right? So back then they didn't treat, not like now we can treat patients, right? Doctors can treat patients. Back then it's like take this and hope it works, or use this old wives' tale of whatever that they used, and hope to God that it helps, right?
Yeah.
But they still died.
True. Yeah. It's I suppose they used herbalists would have been used in the past there to go to, and people with knowledge about remedies and all that. I suppose it's probably the last. It's thanks to probably the body snatchers, and probably in reality there, that we have this intelligence towards how the body works, and how biology works with bio, how people live and diseases and all that, and how thanks to those kind of people, and that's going back to what Bram Stoker's brother probably did. It was transfusions, and that's probably why Bram Stoker got his awareness towards blood and all that was probably through his brother, the surgical part there, it's because he was performing blood transfusions, trying to actually.
Well, look at Jack the Ripper. Look at Jack the Ripper, right? He studied women, right? And he removed the
organs,
the organs, and the parts were women, were fertility parts. He removed those too, and he disemboweled women. But you wonder, what was he really trying to do?
True, yeah. You wonder what was the main, and why was it just these women, and it's just these parts of the body, not the whole body,
No, just certain parts of the body were really important to him, right?
It's as well as I wish I knew that. And then we have to solve the whole case of what it was 150. I did say 150 years ago, was it?
Yeah.
Was it probably less than that? Yeah, but no, 150. I forget how old I am.
Me too. I forget how old I am too. I don't want to know.
But and I was just saying, what kind of you're on about the things where I associate the paranormal with Japan, and as you were talking the other day, there was like the suicide forest there in Japan. There, that's one place there that I know is. Have you been there yourselves?
We're going in October.
Yeah, it's definitely on our list to go to. It's one of those, if you feel energy like we do, it's you have to kind of build yourself up for that one.
It's going to be a lot of meditating before we go.
Yeah, I'm more dying to actually see in it, just because I have a theory. Because, and a lot of people don't know this, that everyone thinks it's a whole forest that is bad. It's just a little section of it that's bad, where that everyone goes to.
Yeah.
To go there to do what they have to do, but it's majority of the forest is not like that. They said, yeah, there's this area here. That's where everyone goes when they want to, do what they have to do. And then there's some people saying, you start getting away from that area. It's still done in this section, past it, but not as much as the main part. And after that, everyone's just it's peaceful. It has a good vibe. People hike there every day because it's beautiful hiking. So things do grow in that part, but in a good part. But in the not so good part, I read will even say things don't grow. There's no animals. You don't hear a thing.
No.
And that part alone, which is weird, because going back to the place where people hike, there's birds, there's trees, there's flowers blooming, trees have leaves all over. It's just it's so different than than the suicidal part.
Because that area alone has 5 different lakes. It's called Fujigoko.
Right.
I've been to them. You ever want to see something that comes out of a horror movie? That would be the one where the swamp man comes out, or Loch Ness monster comes out, or something creepy or slimy comes out of the water. That would be a good scene for a horror movie, because it rains. There's the trees. There's no birds, nothing, and the water's black.
Grow in funny positions too, or it's just unnaturally cloudy.
Yeah, it's
and the water's black. It's as black as my cat is.
Yeah, that's interesting. It could be a volcanic rock, is it limestone underneath it there? It depends on probably geographical. Probably study has to be done in the area there, but it's.
Yeah, I personally think someone opened a portal there. Just because, like I said, it attracted people to want to kill themselves in that area, but for some odd reason, the rest of the forest is good where people don't have those thoughts.
Yeah.
So I do feel like there is some kind of portal that is open there.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. And you know what?
Definitely opened it. I'm not sure if they did it as a ritual, or if they did it they don't want to be alone and it attracts company. Like, I don't want to be alone in the afterlife if I'm hunting this forest, so I'm going to open this portal to attract other people and
That whole area,
not be miserable. Yeah.
it's straight due north. Okay, near the Japan seaside is the other part of is the other end of it. But everything paranormal, everything haunted, is all in that one whole area. Mount Fuji, Tochigi Prefecture, the Suicide Waterfall. Everything is all connected in that one whole area. And then you have the graves of the samurai warriors who were beheaded, and then their heads were placed in the grave. So he's haunting that area, and it's just like here, there, all in one area.
Hmm.
There's a special name for I forgot what it is. I'll have to look up my notebook. I wrote it down. There's a special name for the graves of just like samurai's heads. They don't know where the body is, but they found the head. So they
Yep.
just have the head in the grave.
Yep.
They do have a special name just for that. They usually make it into like a little shrine just to appease it for the afterlife so it doesn't come back to hurt anyone.
Right.
Oh, but you know what? There's a program in Japan, and they talk about Japanese history, and they talked about what he did as a child when he grew up. What he did was when he was running the country as a samurai, or as a shogun, and then they showed the end part where his grave is. And I tell you, holy cow! I'm sitting there, man. His grave is really haunted. Like I can just sit there and go, like my eyes are going, man. I'm going, my head's going woo like this. Yeah, and you feel vertigo. You feel like you've been on a roller coaster three times over, and you go, holy cow! You can't even sit up straight, and you're sitting on the floor watching it, right? And
Yeah.
it's just like, wow, okay, yeah, his grave is haunted. I can tell that. And they're showing this thing on this program of his grave, and I said, you guys don't know nothing, don't you?
It's amazing what you said though. It's all those factors, the major factors there. As you said, the body's been buried and samurais there, and the land around it. Then and the black lakes there, and I suppose even the title, the word Suicide Squad, Suicide Forest. God, I'm thinking of movies now. Suicide Squad, the DC.
Yeah, and the Suicide Waterfall. Yep,
Yeah.
that's all haunted too. Like show me a place that's not haunted, right?
Yeah, it's those names though that they give the title to there, and I suppose that's what people then they hear that and they think, right, those that aren't mentally feeling right there would go down to those areas, and unfortunately, you know,
I don't know if anybody would go there. I don't know if anybody wants to go there. I mean, if you want to go there, I always say yeah, but I'll go with you, but my rules, right?
no, sorry, this no, I'm sorry now for my. Is it called the Suicide Forest because of the samurais, or is it to do with people going down there?
People going down there. It's just called.
All right.
We call it Suicide Forest. I call it Aokihara.
That's his actual name, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's not easy to say. I call it Suicide Forest because I can never say the actual name. Sometimes me pronouncing Japanese names or words it's
But
funny.
they don't use that word Suicide Forest.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They don't even want to even talk about it, right?
Hmm.
So yeah.
That's a,
And if you want to off yourself, they do it in the train station instead of going to the Suicide Forest. It's closer. That's why.
It's
I think.
still a thing that happens quite often, though. That's why a lot of people don't want to go in a bad part because they just feel like you're gonna find something. They say especially if you see like a string, don't follow it because there's probably a body at the end. The
Yeah.
string is for someone to find their way out in case they change their mind, but they said more than likely you're gonna find the body at the end of it. So don't follow the string because that's probably what you're gonna find.
yeah. It's that's kind of thing. Hi Joshua. Hi Sean.
And
But
the thing is that the thing is that there's a rule. in Japan. I don't know about anywhere else. Never talk to a person who committed suicide. Never talk to a spirit that committed suicide.
Mm.
It's a golden rule. And the reason why is that number one, they want you to go the same way. Number two, they're jealous. Number three, they're they're angry about their life that they didn't like. So they have envy. And those are the most dangerous things that a living person can ever come across from a suicide spirit. So we don't engage with them. Well, at least I don't. I learned
Mm.
not to. Okay,
Mm.
I can engage in any other spirit but that.
Right. Yeah. Do you do it because of yourself? Is it, or is it to do? As in, would you like would you do it because of your own protection, not because of the way they are? Or
I just don't engage in it. That's all. It's just I know better, right?
yeah,
Because I lived in a suicide condo. Okay,
hmm,
before we left, the 18th person jumped to their death, and all I could hear in my ears, "Go kill yourself. Go kill yourself." Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, that's all they wanted you to do was kill yourself.
hmm,
Misery loves company thing where they're saying it help to
Yeah, because they're avenging what they want you to do, is having the same pain as what they did. So
yeah,
you just learn not gonna touch it, not gonna go there. And I just decided to turn everything off. From what I could hear, I could turn everything off and pretend that I didn't hear a thing. But yeah, they know that you can hear it. They know they can see them. They know that that you could engage in them. You know. But yeah, I tried to be I tried to be pretend like, yeah, I don't know you. And the more I did it, the more I got haunted, and the more I got haunted, the worse I got. So every 6 years, something nasty would happen to me.
right,
But yeah, it's just one of those futile things that you have to be careful, and it
hmm,
is dangerous in this country.
hmm,
Believe me or not,
yeah,
it can be very dangerous, and you have to be very careful what you do. You have to be very careful what spirit you engage in within this country, because either you get sick, or you wind up in the hospital, or you're dead.
hmm, yeah,
And it's not like the spirits in England, or it's not like the spirits in America, or anywhere other place, right? They
hmm,
can be very dangerous.
hmm,
And if you're not careful where you go to, which haunted place you go to, and how centered are you this way, right?
hmm,
You could find yourself in a whole mess of trouble.
yeah. You don't mind me asking that? Is it? Oh, sorry, no, I'm asking questions there.
That's
no, it's
okay.
fine.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But is like suicide more in? I know it sounds bad, but is it more the culture of Japan to for like honor and all that kind? For honor.
Because we are a Buddhist country, okay?
Hmm,
Um, there are Catholics in Japan.
hmm,
Mainly where Amanda lives, not where I live. Buddhism means that you're within yourself. If if you if if you are unhappy, if you are not centered the way that you want to be, there's there's no reason why you could find peace in ending this unhappy life and finding a better life later on, or into reincarnation.
right. Yeah.
So
It's
the
it,
next life you'll find more peace than you have this life.
hmm, yeah. It's like in Ireland now because of Christianity there, and it's you can't do it. It's. I
Yeah.
suppose most cultures it is the same. Like but I wonder if it's different. If it's is suicide another part of if you were like trying to save your nation or trying to stop somebody like pushing a child in front of a car
No,
away from
no,
Trump.
no,
It's
no.
I suppose yeah.
It's very personal.
Hmm,
It's very yeah.
I know. Yeah, I understand one who makes these decisions. I know on an all over scale, a higher consciousness there that says that that fighting for your country and killing yourself for your country or killing yourself to save another person how is that different to
It's different.
what
It's
the
totally
guy?
different. It's totally different.
Hmm.
If you're going to war, you're doing it for the country, for the emperor
Hmm.
of Japan. You are doing it for him. You're giving your life for him.
Hmm.
It's totally different um from being in pain mentally, physically, or
Hmm.
whatever, right?
Yes, yeah,
So
yeah.
if you're in physical pain, you are allowed to stop your pain.
Hmm.
And you know what? Physical pain and stopping your physical pain is getting more, I don't know, it's people are finding that because I have terminal cancer, I'm allowed to stop my physical pain.
Hmm.
And it's getting more acceptable, right? And I think other teachings or other learnings, I think it's we're no longer saying it's not a taboo. If you're going to be sick, if you're going to die a painful death, why not stop myself from dying a painful death
Hmm.
and be at peace?
Yes, yes, that's true as
Make
well.
peace with yourself.
Yes.
Make peace with everything. But you see, we do that to our pets too.
Yes, yes, you're right there. You're correct there. It's there's we're nations full of loving animals, and we take care of our animals there, and we go to the veterinary to have them euthanized there, and it's hard for why can't a human do it? That's gone at considerable
It,
pain and
yeah,
terminal.
it's
See,
You
it's what I call a double standard. you
know,
that's
know.
actually one thing. So I used to live and grew up where back in America we had someone called Dr. Death, or his real name was Dr. Kevorkian.
Yeah.
Dr. Death didn't. That name did not offend him, but he was in jail because he created two devices that if someone really wanted to kill themselves, they
Hmm.
could by a press of a button. It'd be painless. Now, when he did that, it was people who were terminally ill.
Hmm.
So he was just like, why? His whole thinking was, if you know you're gonna suffer and your health is gonna deteriorate, what you should be able to choose to like. I don't want to live that way and end it if that's what you choose to do. He did not he himself did not kill anyone. He just created the machines that people press buttons to. And he served jail, and it was a huge fight back in the day because it was that whole, and it's still a huge debate today with people on if he did the right thing or not. That's also one thing that he would say is, well, if your dog was terminally ill and you don't want them to suffer, you'd allow them to go to the vet and be put down so it didn't have the bad quality of life. Why should just because someone's your aunt or your grandma or whoever, why should they have to suffer
Yeah.
so they can, just so you can have them in life a little bit longer? And still, some people are still upset that he did it because, like, well, that's still a life. They still should try and live it out. But other people are like, no, that's a good point. If you know you're going to suffer,
Yeah.
that's your choice to know. I don't want to be in more pain than I'm already in for the rest of my life, and knowing it's
And
going to go downhill more and more.
you know, it kind of stinks because me being Catholic, okay, I have a, I have my own inner thought thing. I think if you're not well, if you know you're gonna be suffering, if you know you're gonna have a horrible death, I don't see why not. You can't take control of your own body. I mean, they have. If you go to the hospital and you're on life support and you want a DNR, you can ask for that. They won't bring you back to life again, right? So
Right.
what's so
yeah,
wrong with being at peace, right?
true. Yes, yeah,
That's still a
absolutely.
debate. That's still a moral debate to this day, though. Other countries are starting to come out with those same pods that, I mean, obviously more a more modern version of what he made, but it's still back, especially back in the States. It's still that huge moral debate of if he did the right thing
Yeah.
or not. And he
Same.
still stands by that because he was just like, if someone doesn't want to suffer, they shouldn't be forced to suffer.
The thing
Yeah.
that really gets to me is that I can hear voices from even babies who are on life support, even babies who are hooked up to all these machines. They say, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't tell my parents to stop. When is this going to stop? And then, like, I'm saying, oh God, okay, I'm hearing this. I can't share this with anybody, right?
There's no way you can tell a parent that.
I can't share this. I can't tell this parents because I know the parents who are
Mm.
in the same paranormal group.
Mm.
And then I told the baby, can't if you can't do this, if you don't want to do this, there's nothing stopping you from letting go. So the baby died the next day.
Mm. Is it interesting? Just going back to yourself there, Ari, and the way you get the voices in. Like, do you like? Is it yourself transmitting and receiving, or is it actually your spirit out there, as in you're connecting in with
Yeah,
these? Yeah.
the spirit within the child
Mm.
is telling me that I can't do this anymore.
Mm.
I don't want to do this anymore because from what I heard from the parents, the baby was born a couple of days ago and needed open heart surgery,
Mm.
and it was hooked up to every single machine you could think of, and the machines were keeping the baby alive.
Yeah. It's like going back. Sorry, no, I'm sort of diverting away from
It's okay. It's okay.
saying that, like, as in as you're saying, like the brain, like you receive the messages there, like, so you could, I don't know what is lit if the child was still in the living state there, or I know it's probably machines, unfortunately, there, but like, is it that like you obviously you could get the would you get the consciousness or the feedback on an entity that's actually yourself? Now, I'm trying to say that when we mention energy, we're picking up energy in these places. Are we actually, as you said, transmitting and receiving information there
Yeah.
through our mind there? And is it to do with not actually a ghost there, but actually our brain picking up information? I
Yeah.
don't. I don't know. What do you reckon?
It's a picture of this baby who was posted in our group. And I looked at it and I said, oh my God. I went like that. And then the baby found out that I could hear it. And
Mm.
so the baby started talking to me.
Mm.
And the baby is very conscious about what's going on. It's
Mm.
almost like it's a child. It's an infant, right? But it has a conscious mind.
Mm.
So it can understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's like I suppose going back to psychometry there, objects as well. Like as you said, it was a picture. Like we relate to how that information, your brain's picking up that information, and remote viewing, and all that. Like
Yeah.
I'm interested in psi in that kind of way, like retrocognition,
Yeah.
telepathy, and all that. And how the human is just we've lost that ability to do that and use mind to mind thought transference or information from what's around us in the environment. It's interesting there. I know
But
it's
it's so heartbreaking because the parents want the baby to live so bad, but then this baby said, "No, I can't do this anymore."
I know.
And like I can't tell them, right?
No, I know it's just, it's
there's a lot of things that I know about what happened to children or what happened to such and such. I can't say anything. I have to take it to my deathbed. And it's a lot of weight on my shoulders, but it's something that I know. It's certain people that I know, even the people that have been in the news, even the people that have been on TV and certain things that happen to them. Yeah, I can't tell them anything. I have to keep that to myself. And if I don't, that's why I keep my mouth shut in this country, because living in Japan is
too
very
much.
difficult. I mean, yeah, I mean, only my neighbor, two of my neighbors know what I am or who I am. The rest of them, nah, mm-mm. Like,
I'd
and I threw away the key a long time ago, right?
be happy to say myself, like, you know.
Yeah, like,
You know, it's,
yeah, I don't want to be thrown in the loony bin, right? Like I'd be crackers, right?
yeah, it was true. Yeah, I suppose in Ireland now we still have the witchcraft law as well,
Hmm.
and going back to
Yeah.
witches as well. I suppose the first going back to Ireland with witches there. I suppose the first
Hmm.
case in Europe was actually originated from Ireland as well,
Hmm.
1300s. Alice Kittler and a Petronia de Meath. Her servant got Alice Kittler got away with it. She I think it was I think 4 or 5 husbands died before her.
Hmm.
And, but her servant girl Petronia de Meath was burnt at the stake in the town, the city of Kilkenny there. But that was in the 1300s there. But going back to the witchcraft law is still here, and I think
Hmm.
and there's still people. I think there's still people. There's a few cases in the last couple of years of people being done, but now I think that's to do with fraud or getting money off people, unsolicited there. So, but it's I don't know. Going back to a different subject, the Grudge associated with Japan. I mentioned it before.
Yeah,
Is any
there's
of that?
the Grudge House still.
Yeah.
still
Is there actually a house called that? Okay.
yeah, it's the house was bought by the Hollywood studio though.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right. So yeah. So it's not. So it's like the Amityville. Well, the Amityville Horror, like the house. That wasn't actually. I don't think. Oh, forgive me now. Like I don't know. That actually the murders didn't happen there, was it? In the Amityville house, was it? I'm not too sure. But yeah, I know. I suppose. I don't know everything with. I know with Hollywood and all that, the dramas, they make it all big, like The Conjuring and all that, But I think that's based on a true story. Yeah, but based
There's
on
a
Yeah,
lot of
most,
places.
that's what we're
yeah,
saying is if you actually look at Japanese horror movies, they're all based off of either an urban legend or a ghost
Yeah.
story. Like The Ring is based off of a ghost story that actually happened here in Japan.
Yeah.
right.
I mean, it's
Okay.
changed just a little bit more modern. It was a samurai warrior who was in love with a dish maiden, and she kept rejecting him
Right.
to the point where he got impatient, and he was just so he hid one of the fancy plates that the lord of the castle, and it was Himaji Castles where this happened at. The well's still there. They have it
Hmm.
boarded up, but you can still see the well there.
Right.
Where the samurai, he told the lord of the house, "Hey, I think one of your plates is missing. There's 10 plates." And of course, the lord was mad, and he yelled at the dish maiden. She kept looking for the plate. She kept counting. She kept counting 1 to 9. Kept trying to look for it. She kept hoping, "I'm gonna find this 10th plate. I'm gonna find this 10th plate," but she never did. So then the samurai told her, "Oh, I will go to the Lord and convince him you're not the one who lost it if you finally agree to be my lover." She still denied him, so him in a fit and rage started beating her. He tied her up, and he tied her up to something, and he started also dunking her in the well, bring her back up, and he was just like, "Are you ready to be my lover now?" She kept saying no. He, hit her, dunk her back in, and he kept going on until she finally died, and he left that body in the well.
Hmm.
And they said afterwards she would come up at night, count to 9, and then do a blood shattering scream. And they say if you heard her count to 9 as she's walking around the castle, you got extremely sick. If you heard the scream, you somehow died soon after.
Right.
Yeah.
They couldn't explain it. Yeah.
That's
So
That's
interesting.
why.
they based the ring off of that, but obviously they made it a little bit more modern to fit.
Mm.
But you see, men are allowed to pray at her. Women are not because she'd get angry. Um, a lot of places are like that where men can, or men can or can't do things. So if you're a man and a woman going together, you cannot walk together. You cannot pray together because
Right.
the jealous ghosts will get angry at you.
Okay. Right. It's interesting. Yeah. No, it's we don't have that kind of over here. I'm not too sure over it. No, not really. I think there is a few though. There's a few kind of stories or legends
Hmm.
there, as you would say, myths there, but women aren't allowed in certain cemeteries there.
No, no.
Or, or else, nothing. Well, they'll become infertile or barren, as it would say there, like
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Those kind of stories. There were only men were forbidden to
It
go in there.
it it's it's like you'd have to be, you have to know ahead of time where you're going
Mm.
and how
Oh,
to act
yes.
beforehand you go there. And if Amanda and I went there to a certain place, we'd be okay. If I
Mm.
brought my husband, we all went together, and she brought her husband too. Like, we would have to walk together, and men would walk together, and women would walk behind, because the thing is that if they find that you're a man and a woman together, well, oh, hell breaks loose, right?
True. Yeah.
And yeah, and the jealousy would and the rage would come out, and either something bad would happen to him, or something bad would happen to us, or the whole group, right?
Yeah.
And
So, I suppose like the Catholic Church used to have that. Women and the men used to be on either side of the church,
yeah,
in bygone decades there, over 100, I think it was less than 100 years ago. There, the men would be on one side of the church and the women on
hmm,
the other. So it's I don't know. It's all these people make up these rules, I suppose, for some reason, and
hmm,
people
hmm.
take them on then for another. But yeah, it, it's. And you're originally from Italy, Amanda. Yeah.
I have family who yeah. I had family that lived in and moved to the Americas from southern Italy. Well, some in southern Italy, some in Sicily.
Ah, Sicily, yeah. And yeah, because you sound American. It's,
Yeah, well, they immigrated to. I have family that immigrated from Italy to America.
cool. Yeah, yeah. As you can tell by my accent, I'm not truly Irish. There, I used to live in England, like so. So
That's why I can understand you so well.
I
I
know.
mean,
Yeah.
you know, the reason how I got into this paranormal thing was my English friends kind of like, "You're coming with us. We're going to teach you this," so that's how I learned, right? And then I had a Scottish warlock who taught me how to cleanse and how to get rid of and how to remove bad spirits from a house. So I
Right.
do that. That's the part B of my work that I do.
Right.
And, and oh gosh, like,
And
it,
do you is exorcisms big?
I
Is it?
don't, I don't, I
Hmm.
don't.
Hmm.
Um, I know my limits of what I can do. If you have a house that's haunted, I can help you.
Hmm. Yeah.
If your land is haunted, I could probably
Yeah,
calm the spirits down.
it takes certain people to be able to do exorcisms. I mean, we've talked
Yeah,
to
I'm not anywhere near that, but I can kick a spirit out of the house.
Hmm.
we've talked to demonologists who says they leave exorcisms to someone else, and I
Yeah,
get it because it's something can easily go wrong real quick. So it's better to like, yeah, I can assist you, but I'm gonna leave the actual main thing to someone else more
Hmm.
that's
get
a
concerned
whole
about.
new ball game.
Yeah, I'm not sure, and I would love to talk to someone who obviously has trained to do that because I know it's a different
Yeah,
kind of training there and
yeah,
what that it takes compared to
Yeah.
with the regular demonology, what you also have to learn to be able to handle.
Yeah.
and actually be able to handle it and handle an exorcism.
I suppose
Yeah.
it's somebody has to be administered in the religious uh, ideology there to actually do it. There, it's. I suppose it's like
Yeah.
as you know, if in the Catholic Church, there you when
Mhm.
you're baptized, that's
Yes,
an
I'm
exorcism.
not Catholic. I know not. It takes a certain kind of priest though too, because I was trying to
Yeah.
find a priest to talk to one time about maybe blessing something or someone's having issues. So I'm like, let me see if I can find a priest. And majority of priests actually don't do it, which
But something?
I don't
It's
know
funny,
why.
because being Catholic, right? They don't like what I do.
No. I'm born Catholic as well, and but I've gone away from that kind of way, like But it's they wouldn't like what we were doing, like yourselves.
Like, it is what it is, right?
Hmm.
And I had a priest look at me sideways with his eyes going like this to me, right? During mass, and I could, what the heck is he looking at me for? Obviously, he knows something that I don't know, or he knew something that I knew. That, yeah, don't tell anybody. I don't even tell my priest. I don't tell a priest, because in Japan we have Jesuit priests, right? Um, they're different. Um, they have their own group,
Yeah,
and yeah, I just yeah, don't say anything.
yeah, yeah. I know. Yes, just just to pass the conversation on to something else, like
Yeah.
sport or something.
Yeah.
You
Like,
you know,
okay, see ya, like, and I think one of my friends is a real hardcore Catholic, okay, in Japan. I
hmm,
told him what I do. He don't talk to me anymore, but I'm still friends with him.
yeah. Yeah. It's
And it
interesting.
it's it gets pretty sticky, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I suppose you
you know,
lose friends, but then you gain others. I suppose
Yeah,
was it?
yeah.
but it's
And
more like the friends you do make is more like-minded, and they understand like the gift you have. Because
yeah.
I
Hmm.
was, and I tell people this also here a lot that I grew up as a Baptist minister's daughter, but I had to move away from the church to be able to do what I do now because I
Yeah.
Hmm.
always had the gift. And with them, if you have some kind of gift in it, you're either possessed by a demon or you have a demon attachment. And then to
Hmm.
Yeah.
them, anything paranormal was just a demon. And
Yeah.
it's just I had to finally, when I moved away from the church, is finally when you start learning more things, more in depth about things, and you're just like, well, that's not right. Not
Yeah.
everything is a demon. Just
Hmm.
No.
because you have a gift doesn't mean you did something to worship the devil. Because a lot of people in that church would look at me and be like, "Oh, you have to be devil worshiping on the side in secret to be able to have this gift." They were so scared of it, and Irene will
Yeah.
tell you that I still have fear. I mean, I'm not as scared, but I still have that fear because it's just
Hmm.
growing up. People put that fear in
It,
you,
it
and
was
True.
it was
sometimes,
it was it was like this into your head. That's why.
Hmm.
yeah, and it's just like I used to be able to see them. Like I remember,
Indoctrinated. Yeah.
it still comes out. I can still feel them, but sometimes it still comes out where I can see them like Irene does, and I can sometimes hear them like Irene does. But it's one of those things where I turned off for the longest time just because that fear of people treated you like you were doing something wrong. And I'm
Hmm.
always I was always trying to explain to them I'm not devil worshiping. I'm not doing witchcraft. I'm not doing
No.
anything that you're accusing me of. But no one believes me, and I'm just like how
Hmm.
I don't know how to prove something I'm not doing.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. True.
And
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
how do you go on a lot of investigations?
Oh no, actually, no. I don't like. I suppose that's a good question. Like that's on average, probably. I suppose because we've got like to be honest, there the past few years we've gone down to about 2 to 3 investigations a year. But because of
Mhm.
other commitments, like I love doing the podcast shows, like yourselves there.
Mhm.
Uh, Also, we did a convention in Ireland, a paranormal convention. So
Mhm.
I helped host that, and there's other projects coming up there where hopefully we're doing something on the TV streaming services soon,
Mhm.
So with Plex, I don't know if you heard of it. It's a free streaming network there across America and Europe and Australia. But we only do about 2 to 3, and I suppose we concentrate fully on what the prior to the investigation, and as you know yourself, there's the research afterwards there, So we do a lot of spiritual experiments. We do a lot of using a good bit of technology as well. But the thing is, like, we evaluate every physiological change a person has during the investigation, the seance. Somebody feels a breathe. I review the footage or the recordings and say what happened, what question that person asked beforehand, how they felt, which area of the room it is, and all that. So we're continuously, like, say with the glass divination or Ouija board, which way the glass moved, with it clockwise, anti-clockwise, how many times. I'm reviewing those all the time. Did it twist? So it takes a lot of time in the reviewing state there that we only do 2 to 3, and I think it's enough with the way the world's going financially in Ireland.
Yeah.
Going from place to place, traveling and cost of places and all that.
A lot of times people say, well, you have to be a ghost hunter in order to be an investigator. No, you don't. There's a lot of different ways they can do it, right? Like, I don't go out. I don't like going out because I see everything when I go out, and I don't want to go out. And let the kids go grocery shopping for me because I don't feel like going out. I said, can't go out. But, I mean, there's a lot of ways. Like, I do everything in my home. My home is my work. I have clients who call me and said, I need to talk to my grandmother. She died such and such a date. And I said, okay. And so we'll make appointment with her. And then I call my spirit guides and I bring her in from heaven. And we all have a threesome in my house.
The way you said that, Irene.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if they're scared of something, yeah, I get the I hate to say that, but it's like the evil spirit comes this way, right? Good ones come this way. Ones who haven't crossed over go this way. Ones who have crossed over go this way. So it's like my room is like it's like Central Station, my room, right?
Yes, that's it.
It's hilarious, but I mean, and then I said, okay, yeah, you can come this way. Okay, you come this way. Yeah, you're not allowed. Get out of here. Like, like I do this all day, and my husband said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Yeah, you won't understand. Never mind."
Clear. Go out of the way.
And my kids, they go, "Oh, mom's at it again." They go, "Yep," but my kids, all my kids can do it too, So, so my husband goes, "Yikes!" Like, he does. I'm gonna go back to my room, okay? Like, okay, have fun, bye. He goes, "Yeah, you have fun too." Gee whiz, he's thinking that he goes, and he says, "Don't you get scared?" I go, "Nope." What is he to get scared about, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, if do you feel comfortable with what you're doing anyway? I mean, you feel, it's, yeah.
Sometimes it gets hairy, right?
Yeah.
You get all these, they're all fighting in heaven. I go, okay, when you're done fighting, you can come and talk to me, okay? But till then, do it on your own time, not on my time. They do, they do have when they argue, like I said, okay, my time is really important, okay? You're lucky I made time for you, okay? Now, either you're going to talk to me or you're going to fight in heaven all by yourself. You're going to do that, don't do it on my time. Like, I'm doing that, and my husband goes, I say, oh, geez, okay, you saw that, right?
They're not coming through you now, are they?
And I say, oh, shoot. Like this. My kid said, yeah, mom's busy. Don't bother her. I go, okay.
Is there many groups in Japan themselves? Like, is there many? No, it's not.
It's just us. So we always make that joke when people talk about going to like paranormal fest, and I'm like, yeah, Irene and I would start one, but just be her and I going. So I mean, I guess her and I can meet up, take a picture, and be like, Parafest Japan 2024, yeah.
Yeah, because I was wondering that. I was going to say that because, like I was going to ask them, is there any conventions or paranormal?
It would just be me and her going. So people,
Right.
Oh,
I've had someone reach out and ask if I want to start one here in Japan. I'm like, what's the point? Just be me showing up and Irene showing up, and that's it. Just be me and
that's
Irene.
it. You know, just us
So,
two, right? Okay.
so this
Like,
must be like it must be hard then as well. Say if you're how many do you do investigations?
We can't really investigate here. That's one thing I tell people because I was so excited here in Japan. I'm like, I'm gonna jump in Japan. I'm gonna start paranormal investigations. And you get
Yeah.
here, you're just like, oh, you can't. There is no other groups. That's how me and Irene
yeah,
finally connected. Is trying, trying to find anything paranormal in Japan, and then we realized it's just us.
Hmm. And then permission would be hard to get into historical buildings, would it be
It
like?
doesn't exist. Information for historical places does not exist in Japan. There's no
Right.
record made.
oh, they don't want you to know.
Right.
There's no history books. There's no write up about it. There's nothing in general records. There's nothing in the libraries because they don't want you to know what happened.
Okay.
It's almost like it's being erased from the history.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's like
We
Because you know what? It's right now the taxes are really high. And if you have this historical content land, you can't upkeep the taxes. You're gonna sell it, right?
hmm,
The land developers own the land now, right?
right.
And they're gonna build condos. They're gonna build blah 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 blah, and it's yeah.
Yeah. So
It's one place. I'm not gonna live there, you know.
yeah. So there's no like kind of respect for the history like in that sort of way either. Like so, yeah. That's in.
I've had a professional research team for a popular TV show reach out to me because they're trying to find research of of a place in Japan. They didn't want, just word of mouth. They actually want concrete
Hmm,
physical
yeah.
information.
Building. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they want physical information. They're like, we have exhausted our researches. We can't find anything. Maybe you know of something else that we're missing in Japan, and we're just like, you can't find it because it doesn't exist.
No.
Right.
No one's trying to keep it from you. The reason why you're not finding hard information or black information written on black and white is it's not there.
Yeah.
Right.
And I tried to find information on the suicide condo that I used to. I tried to find out the land, who owned it, what happened. Good luck.
Hmm. Yeah.
And the only time where you could find something about some historical land is asking the elders, the people who are 80 years old, 90 years old.
Hmm.
Those are the only people who have lived long enough to tell you something, right?
Yeah. The information. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
most of it is really knowledgeable because they really know a lot.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
given down from history, those are the only people who really believe in stuff like that, right?
Yes.
And they
Yeah.
have a rule of thumb with everything. So they teach you what you can do, what you can do. Okay.
Yeah.
But the young people like, yeah, that's fake. No, that's not real. No, that's dumb. Oh, there's nothing haunted there. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
So you
Right.
find the younger people really don't know anything, right? If it's not there in front of their face, if they can't see it, they ain't gonna believe it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Oh,
you know what? Like I was in a paranormal group, okay? I don't use toys.
hmm.
I just me, my ears, and that. I
Yes.
even had cat balls. That didn't work with it.
But you
So
really can't. You can't use that stuff here because any anywhere that you are able to do a somewhat investigation is places open to the public. I can't
Yep.
go to a public place,
Mm.
have my spirit box going on because everyone's gonna hear that and they're gonna be like, "What the hell? What
Yeah.
is she doing? That's still too obvious." I'm like, I can't have any of that equipment. It
No.
makes too much noise. People are gonna look. I'm like, I can't.
Mm.
Because
So
I used to have equipment back in the States, and
yeah,
everyone's like, why don't you have any in Japan? I'm just like, because I can't use it.
yeah.
Mm.
So
I cannot book anywhere. I
Yeah.
can't walk around a public place with the spirit box going on.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's like I suppose, and then it's worse having to be wary of the living, and then you have to go
Oh
over
yeah.
and
Oh
try
yeah.
and communicate with the afterlife or the other realms,
I went to Hiroshima and I went to the dome. And it's just me, myself, and the podcast, right?
Mm.
And the only way that I could do that was to talk to whatever in that building. It was a good show. It was a good podcast, okay? It was really good because a lot of people who are watching the podcast were sensitives and they could see what was going on.
Mm.
But the group that I did it for, yeah, there's nothing there. Okay, that's done.
Mm. Right.
Because I didn't have my whistles, I didn't have my toys, I
We
didn't have my REM
have that
pod, I
here,
didn't
though.
have anything there, and I didn't have a K2 meter. And you can't go near the building because it's got security measures around the
Yeah.
gate, right?
Mm.
But I put my cat balls inside the gate, and I didn't get caught. but but
That's
you know,
also
but
something we can really use around here that doesn't make
but
noise,
you know,
lights up.
but the spirits were willing to talk to you if you could talk to them, right?
Mm.
And that was my investigation. That's what I did. It was the most hardest investigation I've ever done in my whole life. Man, that was tough. But I mean, they have museums. They have the Hiroshima Castle. That's also really haunted. That's freaky haunted. I mean, it's just like the hairs on your arm go like this.
Yeah. I can feel that now, actually.
And
Is it like the
places-
building that's behind Amanda now? Like, is it?
I think that's Mount Fuji behind me.
Yeah. What's like a castle like in
yeah,
I
that's a
think
temple.
yeah, it's a
That's
temple.
a temple.
temple. Trying to move.
Yeah.
So would
There
a
you go.
castle be similar to what it's like in Ireland? Forgive me
Yeah.
there.
There are places where Amanda lives that's really freaky haunted too.
Hmm.
I mean, it's
It's
scary.
because I live 2 hours from me is the Nagasaki bombing area. 4 or 5 hours north of me is the Hiroshima one. So it's just from both of those. And that's also why I have more cryptids in my area than Irene in Tokyo,
Mhm.
just because they think they were seen after the bombing. So scientists, they haven't really studied them, but it is believed that it's probably something with the radiation. Either
Yeah.
start changing people or changing animals. They're not 100% sure which one, but they think radiation kind of it had to alter something or someone.
Yes, it would be that would be explainable. Yeah, it would.
And something else was really freaky. The most Christians were crucified where she is and in Kyoto. So you got 24 Christians who are crucified where she is. And they're on the mountain, right? And they
Right.
have a memorial to it. So that's really haunted. And there's another place in Kyoto, the old part of Japan, where on another hill they were crucified too. So they're also there. That's also freaky haunted. So you got both places where she is. Most of the Christians lived. The boat that came to Japan, the ship from Portugal and other places came to Japan. We had priests, had brothers, and yeah, they were crucified,
Right.
and they were nailed to the cross, and so were their followers.
Okay. And how long ago was that, Irene? Like how many 100? Was that how many? Would that be in recent 100 years or go back
That was a
centuries?
long time ago in the samurai era.
Okay, yeah,
Because
yeah.
you see, this is a Buddhist country. Okay, you want to be like Jesus Christ, you will die like Jesus Christ.
Mm, yeah, true, yeah.
So they crucified them to the cross. And where Shia lives, there's 3 huge churches. One of the churches has the bones, the femur bones of the 2 priests they recovered because the bodies were left to rot on the cross, right? So
Mm,
they afterwards, when nobody was looking, they picked the bones and they put them in the cross to be preserved.
right, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of nasty, crazy stuff happened on her side of the, her island, on
Not
that
going
island.
over there.
On that island, right? Yeah.
Well, I might go
But
over there if it is nasty. Amanda.
oh, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Like you want to see old history and
Mm,
hauntings and stuff like that. That island is one of the best places to visit.
right.
My husband, he was born on that island.
Okay. And is
He
it?
knows so many urban legends as a
Mm,
child growing up.
mm,
You could sit there and he'll tell you to your ears go blue.
yeah, yeah. That's it's. My father used to tell me the folklore or the stories
Yeah.
down as well. It's as you said, you're aware of people actually finding people to actually talk about it there.
Hmm.
But I suppose, as you said, the younger generation. I don't know. It's. I don't know. You have YouTube, obviously. Do you still in Japan and all that, Amanda? YouTube,
Yeah, those. Be
YouTube.
careful what you watch. Be
Yeah,
careful what you watch.
yeah, certainly kids probably the younger generation probably go more by that, but a person by that they
Yeah.
go by fact or what people say.
Unfortunately, a lot of the haunted places on YouTube where people are seeing that because a lot of people assume that I can go investigate these places. A lot of YouTubers did, and it's just like one thing that you don't know about the YouTubers is they actually broke in to the places to investigate, and I'm just like, it's not worth me going to jail.
No,
Because it,
true.
because in one of the videos, some of them actually showed them hiding from police, and I'm like, if I have to hide from the police, it's not worth me going in there.
Yeah.
Because here in Japan, I don't know how it is in Ireland, but I always tell like my friends in the United States, and I was just like, back in the United States, for cops to arrest you, they had
Yeah.
to have just cause. Here in Japan, they could throw you in jail for 23 days without a
Mm,
cause. They don't
yeah,
have to have a cause to throw you in jail. And I'm like, more likely, if they see me breaking into a location, I'm
mm,
going to go to jail. And I'm like, it's not worth it for me to
no,
possibly get caught. I'm like, I'm
Either
sorry,
you
but it's
go to
not.
jail or you die, or
mm,
the spirits get you. I think it'd be better not to not to
That's what I'm
venture there.
saying. It's
mm.
not worth me going to jail or
Yeah.
possibly worse.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not
As,
going to jail to
as you said, you
meet.
don't know who's in these buildings either. Like if they're ruined or broken buildings, you may assume that nobody's living there, but there's probably somebody there, and there may be or a group of people there that may be homeless, and there may
Yeah,
be you're
that's
taking.
also one reason why I don't want to do it. In this case, there is homeless people. I don't.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna tell you, if you watch a video on YouTube about certain haunted places in Japan, be careful because a lot of them are not blessed. And I was watching a video, okay? All of a sudden the spirit came to my son, walked right up to him, he goes, he woke up, he goes, "What the hell?" Like this. He freaked him out. He came up and said, "Mom, are you watching a video?" I said, "No." He goes, "You sure you're not watching a video?" I go, "No, I was, okay, I was. I lied." And he goes, "Please don't watch a video because they come in my house. They come in our house and they come right up to him." I said, "Yeah, I know. He's a touchy-feely person, okay? They'll come up to him, they'll tap him on the shoulder, and he goes, 'Yeah, I don't like that.'" And I said, "Okay, I won't watch it." So I had to turn it off. But, but yeah, I mean, they're not blessed.
Hmm.
Videos that are not blessed, they can come at you,
Right. Okay.
and they could hurt you. They
Hmm.
can haunt you. They can
Hmm.
attach themselves on you.
Hmm.
So that's why I don't share it in my group.
Right. Okay. So that's with videos, as you're saying, Irene. Hey, yeah.
On YouTube videos,
Hmm.
TikTok videos, I'm just very careful of what I share
Yeah.
because
It's.
I don't want somebody getting sick,
Hmm.
and I don't want somebody getting hurt or somebody dying.
Hmm. It's an interesting thing. I know the sage phenomenon. I don't know the sage kind of way of cleansing places. There seems to be the last 10 years. I think it's
Hmm.
grown because probably it's been used in Native American culture there and African
Hmm.
culture there. But
Hmm.
it's I don't know. Is what we're doing bad? I'm just wondering. Is it bad what we're doing? As in the word cleanses uh, to get rid of something that's and
We
something
don't
that
use sage here. We
yeah
use,
You can't buy
we,
sage here. We don't have
no. I have to order it from my friend in Indiana if I need sage.
yeah.
Um,
It's one of those
we
things you
usually
buy.
have my son will sit in the middle of the house, okay, right in the center, and he'd start chanting Buddhist prayers to get rid
mm,
of whatever it is. That's how you
mm,
do it in this country.
yes yeah different methods there
Or else we'd use salt,
mm, yeah
like
so
make a salt pyramid, go
mm,
every like north, south, east, west of the house, and we put one in every window.
mm,
But we won't use sage because, yeah, I don't
yeah
use sage.
it's hard to get by and it depends on you might be questioned if you have it on you there. I know it might sound weird, but it's I know I'm just wondering why is it so bad what we're doing, that we need to cleanse an area when we is it to do because of people that are outside our box might think that we're doing something bad and it's indoctrinating in those that we think that we're doing something bad, that's why we have to
It
cleanse it.
depends on the property, right? It
Hmm.
depends on the land. If
Yeah,
it's an American Indian, Native American Indian, you work with them
yes, yeah,
because you
yeah,
can't get rid of them, can't kick them out, so you work with them.
yeah, true, yeah, it's
It also
And
depends on what some investigators do, because I've noticed a lot of people. The reason why you got to cleanse is or at least they got to cleanse, is some people they open portals they don't need to be opening,
yeah,
and some people they just don't. Some people assume they know what they're doing. They don't, and they're opening portals. They're
yeah,
opening new portals that just that's why you got to cleanse it. Is you
yeah.
mm,
It's
don't want
funny,
somebody to know.
because when they do that, they call me and they said, "Help!" And I go, I said, "What did you do? You
yeah,
know you shouldn't have done that, and you know that, right?" And you go, "Well, I didn't know that." I said,
That's why you
"Yeah,
don't do stuff you don't know. And that's
yeah,
also one reason why I tell people back in the United States. That's also one reason why I hate October is everyone assumes because it's Halloween month, you have to do a Ouija board, you have
yeah,
to do a seance, you have to do something like
oh yeah,
that. And that's why the
mm,
veil is thin. Is
yeah,
it's not because it's this time of year, it's because people are stupid and they're opening portals and making it thin.
yeah."
mm. Is Halloween big? Is there a festival like that in Japan or
Not really. Only children, or
yeah?
they have parties in the houses,
Right,
private
okay.
houses. They don't
It's
really
it's
do
not really a
anything.
celebrated holiday here. It's
No,
more celebrated because the obviously the tourists coming over here celebrate it. So sometimes they do, but is it
Mm,
can you go trick or treating in neighborhoods in Japan? No.
no,
no,
If I go, if I'm, you take your child in a costume and go door to door on
mm,
On
no.
Halloween, they're gonna be like, "What? What are you doing?"
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. And I suppose we obviously Halloween's bigger. It's probably the origin of Halloween here in Ireland. It's supposed to go back to. It's actually probably a place called in Ireland called a county called Roscommon and a cave, and that's where the Morrigan, the Celtic
oh dear.
gods of war and battle, she's supposed to frequent the castle and the cave, sorry, and every Hallows Eve she used to come out, and there was all types of animals coming out, and it was written in the annals of books and all that, books scripted, and that's supposedly where Halloween originated, was from that area, but we would go trick or treating ourselves there. It's just the weather's so bad here in Ireland, and it's rained 4 seasons of the year, so it's something that is equipment hard to get done as well. Like if you say if you wanted to get dowsing rods or as you said, like REM pods and all that, is it hard to get them?
I would have to order and have it shipped to your province.
I'm ordering a REM pod from my friend.
Yeah, who lives in the United States?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have it kind of shipped here because there's no stores, not even meant a physical store. So it's not like I could go to the store and buy a sage if I wanted to. You have to ship it in here.
Yes, yes.
There is a store in it's one of the biggest electronic stores that you can go to. I know where it is. It's in a different area of Japan, in Tokyo, where they have specific items for ghost hunting.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you can buy it there. It's a geeky store.
Right. Yes. But as you said, like there's so many things that we can use naturally, like a compass as an EMF meter as well. Those kind of little small things there, and it's as you said, or just like powder for trigger objects or paper, and all that. But as what I was going to say there, like we in Ireland, I suppose we ship most of the stuff from America. It all comes in from America. There's no paranormal. I don't think here that's a group companies here that sell stuff in Ireland there, But as you said there, but where we get our cat balls and all that from England and all that, but I don't know if they're environmentally friendly, because you can't use them again. I'm not into cat balls and all that, but do you yourselves use them or?
I've known people who use them.
Yeah.
I never used them before an investigation because it's just.
I tried using it. The spirit said, "Don't use that thing. We don't like it." I go, "Okay, I won't use it." I have to put it back in my bag.
We haven't got 200 of them in your bag.
Yeah, My husband said, "What's the matter with that? How come you're putting it back?" Because they told me they don't want it. I go, "Okay."
Other than that, it's the only really piece of equipment you can use here because other than that, everything
They
else.
said, "We don't like that. Don't use
everything
that."
else makes noise. So you really can't draw attention to it. Like I wish I could.
Yes.
I can't go to places use my spirit box or a REM pod or something. It just makes noise. That's gonna draw attention that I don't need.
And insurance then as well, like would that, because would that be very, say if you were to, I don't know. I probably won't ask that question because
it's okay.
Locations look for insurance and all that, would they? For like, say if it was a museum or something like that. No, sorry, no, because we have this in Ireland. No, there's only one company in Ireland that does the insurance for paranormal investigators. There, so some of it was in the UK.
You see, a lot of paranormal investigators do that, but they don't want to be known that they do that, or they don't want it in public. Saying he's a paranormal investigator because he has to go to work the next day, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And it's just a really tiny country, right? And you don't want to tell your next door neighbor what you do, right?
Yeah.
Or they don't want their boss to know what they do, right?
Yeah. It depends. Yeah, it's I suppose that was like that in Ireland around about 10 years ago. It was very quiet, But I suppose in the last 10 years, it's because of the popularity of the TV stations and all that showcasing.
Oh yeah, I mean, there was a lot of paranormal TV programs, right, where they had the people going out and showing that this is what that is, that's what that is. They were going out to certain areas. They had that on the TV. It was really cool. I enjoyed it, right? But they all disappeared.
Right. Yeah. It depends what stations you get, really, isn't it? There,
You know, and it was a Japanese paranormal program, TV
Hmm.
program, and it was really cool. But yeah, I mean, that's why I really enjoyed watching them, right? But
Hmm.
everything, even the children, their cartoons,
Hmm.
mostly paranormal.
Yeah, there's always associated like
Yeah,
shows on TV or movies there, series is they're all
Dead
associated with.
Note,
Hmm.
Gay 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 Kitaro, that's all paranormal, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And they have another one. Inuyasha is another one that has to do with the spirit. I mean, they're all spirits and they're all children at a young age. They know what this and that is that is. They know the character. They know
Hmm.
the spirit. They know the yokai. They know everything.
Hmm.
And it's 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 born into them, right?
Yes. Yeah.
At a young age. But yeah, that's about it. That's about all that, you know. That's it. That's as far as they're gonna learn,
As
right?
far as it goes, don't fall. Yeah, it's very hard. It's suppose it's well, if you ever come to Ireland, let me know. Like
We'll
the
have
same.
fun. We'll
Yeah,
have
yeah,
fun.
well, definitely. I don't know if we get to any haunted locations. I don't know. It might be. I don't know if you like whiskey or anything like that.
Oh, I don't mind. I'll go. I'll go. I don't mind. I'll go. I'll
But
go. Like I'll be first to go there. I say, okay, I'm going there.
you're more than
I'll probably have a conversation. Yeah, did you do that? Oh, okay. Like probably people think you're nuts.
because we was thinking of going over to Asia, somewhere in Asia to do something like I know we were thinking of Japan, and I know, and then we were thinking of the Philippines or somewhere like that, but we're not totally in the know-how of where the best place in Asia to
Well,
investigate.
if you come and stay with me.
Cool.
There
Yeah.
is a place that we recommend in Japan that I'm
Yep.
trying to find people someone to go with. Have you ever seen the scary movie Wrong Turn?
Long term. Probably not. No.
So this it's abandoned now, but
Hmm.
it's the Inunaki village or the Howling Dog Village in English, but it's right, Irene, Howling Dog,
No, Howling Village.
Howling Village.
Inunaki Mura. It's called the Howling Village.
Yeah, so it's abandoned now, but it's a place in Fukuoka that's about an hour and a half, 2 hours for me. But it's in the forest, and there's if you walk through the town, walk in the forest, you'll find it. Outside this town, there's a sign, and the sign is still there that says, "Past this point, Japanese law does not exist." And that town was created because there's about a bunch of outlaws in Japan that said, "You know what? I'm tired of living by Japanese laws." So they went to the woods, built this city, built their little village, and they're like, "Okay, this area does not have any laws. So anything and everything went. Like
Right.
literally anything and everything went that you can think of."
Hmm.
Right. That'd be cool. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. You know. Right,
My husband knows that. He grew up learning about that place. He goes, "Oh yeah, I know about that." And he was like, "How old did you know about it?" "Oh, I knew that since I was in elementary school." I go. He goes, "You want to go?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay, I'll take you there." And he knows the road to go there too.
I know.
Yeah, and I said, "You're sure?" He goes, "Yeah, I could take you there right now." I go, "Yeah, maybe when I have somebody else that can watch my butt because you have to go with two or three people, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You need a bit of.
Who know what they're doing. And if I take my husband, he don't know nothing from nothing, right? Like I'd be watching his butt, right? And that's like if you can't watch your own butt, you can't go there. That's what I mean. And it's really haunted. It's extremely haunted. And they have a tunnel that's boarded off.
Right.
And in the tunnel, you can walk through the tunnel right to the boarded off part. You can hear people screaming. You can hear footsteps. You can hear everything.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
the tunnel's haunted too.
Yeah. Tunnels. Oh God.
And there's a lot of creepy tunnels in Japan.
A bunch of murders happen in that tunnel. That's why it's
Yeah.
extremely haunted.
Yeah.
It's cool when you those type of. I suppose with the paranormal and all that, seeing all these different types of buildings and architecture and all these different types of. It's look. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's just to go to these places is amazing, isn't it? You know, it's just
Yeah.
to go to these types of whether it's a
And
museum.
there's one big cemetery in Tokyo. Let's put it this way. It's dark
Mm,
during the daytime. They got lights, but yeah, like you go in there, you need breadcrumbs to come out.
you get lost. Yeah. Is it
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
would it be like tombs? Would it be like high kind of
They're
tombs?
tall because
Tall, yeah.
when you die,
Mm,
you have awake 24 hours, and then you have your funeral, and you have the cremation, and the
mm,
bones would be put in a clay pot,
mm.
and then if you have a plot, the plot would be above ground
Yes, yeah.
and in a marble
Mm,
square thing, and the whole
yeah,
family would be put in the same.
right. So like,
And so you'd have the name of the last name of the person. On the back of it was when that person lived, when that person died, and all the name of the whole family would be in one whole plot.
so like did the eldest descendant would there be the names on the would the eldest descendant be at the top? Obviously, would it be?
Oh, it's just listed.
Yeah, listed. Yeah.
And it's not really the eldest descendant. It's like your family would be in one plot.
Mm,
Like your wife, your children,
mm,
and and whoever else, right?
yeah.
In your family. Like the head of the household.
Yes. Yeah. But instead of here in Ireland, we take too much space up here. Like we're in one grave, one person lying flat out as like a starfish.
They don't have enough room to do that here.
No.
They don't. So
Yes. Yeah.
they have proper cemeteries, right? But yeah,
It's like in Spain.
it's freaky haunted.
Mm. It's like in Spain, they have they're above each other then as well.
Yeah.
In countries, like in Philippines though, isn't it? Like they sleep with the ancestors.
I don't know.
Sleep
If they can't
inside.
afford,
Say that again, Ari?
if they can't afford
Yes.
a
Yeah.
plot,
Mm.
they keep them in their home.
Yeah. And I've seen people. I think I've seen TV documentaries where they sleep in the cemetery there, and they bring up
Yeah.
the body after a few years. Like it's an interesting. I must look into it more there. Like
Yeah.
do you have any stories of like? Sorry now, it's like I'm into. Do you have any stories like zombies or like because like Haiti, all that that's common in Haiti.
I don't think they're zombies. They're cryptids. They
Mm,
are spirit women who come out and try to take men.
mm,
There's a place on the west side of the Pacific Ocean where there was a lot of battle and wars, and the park,
mm,
the shore where the soldiers used to come up with their guns, and they hunt the shore
right.
and they hunt the park. And the park's closed at 9 o'clock. You can't get in the park after 9, and you're advised not to go in after 9.
Yeah.
You know why? You wouldn't be you wouldn't. There would be no body. There wouldn't be no place. There would be no bones. No nothing. You disappear.
Jeez. Yeah.
And
Right.
so even my aunt said, "Don't go in that park after night." Promise me you won't go there. I said, okay, I promise.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
so you see the elders will teach you
Mm.
where to go, what not to do, and what time you should be out of there.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
And parks are really freaky haunted too.
Mm. Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. About it's a great subject and all that with the paranormal and 14 and talking about cryptids and ufology, and they're all sort of all connected anyway, aren't they? Like, it's great fun, like,
I hate my birthday. You know why? My birthday is on the day that we feed the dead people and we go and clean the graves at midnight.
Right. What date's that?
You really want to know?
I sent a birthday card out.
July 16th is in
July.
Tokyo when we clean the graves.
Oh,
We
okay.
feed the dead.
Mm,
The dead come home. We invite the dead to come into our home. We
cool.
give them something to eat. We give them something to drink. And
Cool.
we said, get out of here. Go home. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Where she is, it's on the 23rd, 24th, 25th of August.
Right. Okay. Is it different in different parts of the nation? Is
The
it?
city, Tokyo itself is the 16th of July.
Right.
And everywhere else is like the 24th, 25th, 26th.
Right.
And everyone does all the families get together, they dance and they have meals together and they go clean the graves together. And yeah, I'm not gonna do that, not at midnight. Are you crazy? You're supposed to bring a lantern with a paper lantern with a candle in it, right? You're supposed to bring food, you're supposed to bring incense, and you scrub down the stones of the grave, and you burn incense, you put the food offering of food out, and you leave.
Yeah.
But midnight, yeah, that's when you're supposed to do it. Midnight.
Okay. Yeah. It's yeah. It's November. Usually November the 1st or 2nd. There, we do this in Ireland. Yeah. All Souls Day, All Saints Day, All Souls
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah.
After Halloween, like.
I mean, the creep factor goes.
Yeah. It's. I suppose like. And I love cemeteries there. I love all that kind of stuff there. Not in that way. It's just. It's. I don't know. I don't feel them as bad, not in that way. It's. I don't. That's a good thing. Is like thinking there's life after death, like is the thing, that kind of stuff. But I suppose it goes back to realization of when you're a youngster that something bad happened. But I don't feel that anymore. Like
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
But they are haunted, the graves here, and because they're above ground, right? You hear a lot.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, we don't. In Ireland, like cremations coming more into Ireland there than before. And people are having better, cheaper kind of funerals there. Baskets instead, basket caskets.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was Catholic now, and I'll probably be cremated when I get. I don't know. I don't know. The wife said she'll just keep me in the corner of the room. I don't know. I'll be useful for something there, it might be a light.
Oh, look, there's Daddy. He's growing leaves. Oh dear. Look at the mold growing out. Ooh. Time to scrub the body down. Change the clothes. Yeah, right.
Yeah. But it's been great chatting to you there. I know it, and if there's anything else, Ireland is a brilliant place. And if you ever want to come in, or anybody watches the show wants to come over, just let us know. And there's a good few places to come and see there. And
we all have a lot of fun.
Have you seen the Hellfire Club there?
The one in Dublin, no, my colleagues have in Dublin. Yeah, members of my team there, but our teams aren't. there's another Hellfire Club in the west of Ireland, the Limerick Hellfire Club, which was supposed to be more into their fun and games. Then there's more documented history and there's of the Limerick Hellfire Club. Then there is the Dublin Hellfire Club. There's portraits and there's a poem written about a certain escapades that went through, like, you know.
I researched the one in Dublin, and I want to see it, but I also kind of don't, just because the more recent photos of everyone showing it looks badly graffitied, and that just breaks my heart because it's still a beautiful place, but then people have to put graffiti all over it, so it's so heartbreaking. It's no longer as beautiful as it was, just because it was. It's finding photos now of it not being no graffiti on it.
Yeah, it used to be built on a stone of pagans, old worshiping site there, and I suppose it's so open to the public, as you were saying there, and they were like, anyway, this is a very open location, so if you got equipment,
they had devil worshipping there.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so it was one of those things where they had rituals, and people don't know exactly what happened because it was like important people of Ireland went there. They were secretly members, so there's speculation of it, but unfortunately, no one really knew because people who went there either ended up crazy when they came out or ended up dead when they came out. They had a priest said he went up there once, and he said he was attacked by a giant black cat, like a naturally giant black cat. And I've had people because I did TikTok on it, and people from that location who is in paranormal message me, like, you have to look up these locations. It's buildings are on Montpelier Hill, which is the hill it's on. And a lot of them have that same stories where it was haunted by a giant black cat spirit or whatever you want to call it, unnaturally large. So
not our cats, Irene. No, not our cats.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, is that huge over there? Or it's just over there around that hill. That giant black cat spirit.
It's a big location, as in for TV shows to go to there and for people to investigate. Now, I haven't done it. The reason why I haven't done it is the same as what you said, Amanda. It's so open to the public, and you're more wary of the living and all that, you know. But as he said, like with the Hellfire Club there, I suppose with all the clubs there are supposed to be elite kind of gatherings. And whether really did they get up to kind of satanic things or what we refer to as satanic things is a question, because we don't know. We're only relying on what people's opinions were.
The guy who ran it called himself like the Devil King. So that's also why people believed it was.
Well,
it's mostly speculation, just because that's what he called himself. That's what people refer to him as. But unfortunately, it was very secretive of their rituals.
Yeah, it's probably the same thing as what's called like Freemasonry and all that. You know, the secret organization. And what's it? I think it's the ISIS, that kind of, and the paganism kind of front there. You know, we can only go by what people written or determine there. Like the devil stories associated with these hellfires were there to deter people from going near them. And I suppose it's another way of like higher class society of saying, don't come near us, you know. We're all gathering. Now, there is a possibility there as well. Yeah, we're up to no good as well, you know, like abusing their power, you know. So, but whether murders happened is another question there, or rituals possibly there. But, you know, whether there was murders is another question there, you know. So,
I just know people who are curious and up missing. That's why people assume they were murdered, but I don't know they actually found bodies. So that's why it's still speculation on what actually happened when they went there.
When they did in Limerick, now in County Limerick Hellfire Club, there was the owner of the site of the building that the Limerick Hellfire Club was supposedly built on, did say that there was bodies found on the ground close by. Like, whether there were servants, we don't know. But when we did our investigation, we used the talking board, the Ouija board, the spirit board, as it's known, and we asked various questions, and we didn't know the history of the place. We only found out afterwards that it was connected to the Limerick Hellfire Club. That we got that there was a servant girl buried there, and the words came out Notell, no tell, you know. So it was keep it stum and all that, you know. And actually, on the internet, the building was supposed to be built in 1770. Now, the Limerick Hellfire Club and the Dublin Hellfire Club all came synonymous in the 1740s. We said, like, we asked on the Ouija board, when was this building built? It was 1738, sometime back then. We only found out after the owner. We asked him, is this right? The building says it's 1770. It says on record. He says, no, it's not. Everything you find on there is wrong. The actual date of that building is before around the time the Hellfire Club started. And the only place intact in that building, Limerick Hellfire Club, in that house, is the cellars where they used to drink wine, and there's a famous poem written about them there, you know. And there's a portrait with 12, as you could say, going back to the Last Supper. I think it's 12 men. There's one boy, and one lady, you know, like Mary Magdalene. It's all probably blasphemous. Again, the portrait was done. It was done by one of the main people of the Dublin Hellfire Club, and he did a portrait of the Limerick Hellfire Club. So that shows you how much the power they had. His name was Edward Crocker, the head of the Limerick Hellfire Club, and he got them to do the painting. And it shows the dogs which are hunting, and it shows the wine in a casket, which was from that wine cellar, the poem. So it was all connected. We found out afterwards, after researching there, that it wasn't in this. There is that Limerick Hellfire Club in a village, but it's right in the centre of a village in County Limerick. But it most probably wasn't there because it's open to the public to see. It was at this country house where you could get servants to come to you, fill you up with wine, go to the cellar. It was all just made sense. The portrait was done there, and that was the Limerick Hellfire Club, which is supposedly more notorious people were there than would have been the Dublin one. So it's interesting. It's interesting there, but yeah, it's a good place to go over, and there's on the places of Ireland that are well worth visiting as well. You know, one of them, Loftus Hall, unfortunately, was taken over and is used as a hotel now. But there's plenty more places in Ireland. More than welcome to come over and see there. You know,
that'll be interesting just to sit there and hear what I can hear, see what I can see. Like I like to go in blind.
Yes,
I don't like
as well.
I don't like reading anything.
No,
because it messes me up.
True, yeah, it's interesting with the I suppose with the history, like we all know, like some of the buildings, I have to probably look over the history and all that to know what kind of experiments are doing. But we connect in, like myself, with the spirit guides weeks beforehand and see what questions we should ask.
Yeah.
You know. So we go on, we know the history, obviously. So we go and try and go off the history and go into more detail about how these people lived and what their daily lives were like, you know. And it's one way of investigating. But then, as you said, we concentrate on the psychophysiological state, but we also concentrate on the environmental state, which is around us, and then the technical state, and then the spiritual state then as well, you know. So, but it's a fascinating subject, you know. And
you know. And history, it's a person who wrote something down on a paper, okay? But that doesn't mean it really happened there, right?
No, his story, as they say. Yeah, it's all men. Like,
I'd like to know what really happened there. I'd like to know from the spirits. I'd like to talk to them. I'd like to find out what they did, what happened there, how their life was, and everything else included on top of that. That's what I want to know. And that's where I find that most history is most accurate.
I agree. No, I should be for the
chill.
I must probably go there, Amanda and I, but I really appreciate for having me on tonight.
Oh, definitely. Anytime you want to come back on, let us know.
Come back on. We'll talk more.
Yeah, definitely come. Definitely get scheduled. Come back. We'd love to have you back.
I love to have you both.
It was great. It was great. It was great for you talking to you, and thank you for for taking the time out just to chat with us.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And definitely, I love to have you two on my show as well. So
Okay.
Okay,
and we'll
that's
do
great.
some time that suits you all in the next few weeks or so.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll get together on scheduling to do this again.
No
Yeah.
worries. Go
All right.
Mark.
Thank you very
Good.
Okay.
And
Well,
go
thank you,
Mark.
everyone.
Go
Thank you,
Mark.
everyone, for joining us. Thank you.
Yeah.